day, so that's good.
Good enough. Good enough.
Good enough. Good
Yes,
enough.
I'll live through
Yeah.
the broadcast.
Oh gosh, please do, please do. Don't die on me.
Yeah.
I will have to call an ambulance for you all the way over here. Get an ambulance to Dan's office.
Yeah.
So what? How was your day yesterday, there, buddy?
Oh, not too bad. Yeah, it was
Good.
good.
Okay, great.
Got another nice day of weather
Wonderful.
today. Hope it. I don't know if it's gonna hold out for long, but yeah, right now it's nice.
I Yeah, I hope it does. I certainly hope it does do that. I heard it might be rain over the
That's what.
weekend, and I'm sure hoping not.
Yeah, that's what the wife was saying. She said, if it rains, you got to
Hmm.
take me to work tomorrow morning. I said, well, don't let it rain then, because I don't want to get up that early. Not on
There
Saturday.
you go.
No,
Yeah,
no.
all right. What time does she have to go?
She leaves about 5:30 in the morning.
You're kidding me.
No,
Okay.
no.
No, that is quite early on a Saturday.
Yeah. Every day, every day except Sunday, she gets up that early. So, that's why Saturday night is our night to stay up and have a few drinks and relax
Few
and do this, that, and
drinks.
the other thing. Yep.
Well, good enough. Good enough. There you go. Good for you. Excellent, excellent. So let's talk about social media, Dan. I know you do a lot of social media as of late. Yeah.
Well, I don't know a lot. I mean, I've been trying to trying to upload some YouTube videos more often than I have. A lot of those really short things, which don't account for much. But yeah, get my name. Make my name show up on different places every once in a while. Yeah.
Yeah. No, that's good. That's good. That's great. So, what is your goal with that? You have a goal
I I
that?
mean,
Yeah.
not a clear goal, really. I'm because I don't want to have unreasonable expectations. I mean, I've heard that it takes a long time, and so as far as time wise, I mean, I'm hoping to eventually get to the point where um, I can actually maybe do some things that are I really want to do something beneficial. You see those YouTube videos and other videos once in a while where they'll do something for the community or do something for people, and and they show that on YouTube, and then of course their
Hmm.
subscribers are really the ones that are paying for it. This and that's what I'd really like to do. Be able to
Wow.
get
Okay.
a little bit of money coming in so that I can be a little more generous.
Yeah, great. You can actually ask for donations. I was watching Japanese news. When was it? Yesterday. And
Mhm.
there are a lot of social media YouTubers, right, who ask for donations for various things, and they actually get a lot of money. One was for BTS,
Mhm.
that Korean group,
Right,
right? And
right.
there was a YouTuber who was like way into BTS, and she asked people to donate some money to decorate one of the BTS members' planes, private airplane, I guess. Right, right, and
Okay.
it was like
All
four
right.
hundred thousand dollars, right?
Okay.
And she made it. She got the money to do that, and they decorated the plane and gave it to him on his birthday.
Yeah. Well, I
So
don't have any names as big as BTS to throw around, so yeah, that it might be. I mean, really, I mean,
right.
right now I'm just trying to, like I said, get my face and my name out there a little bit, get a little bit of content out there, hopefully little by little build up enough of an audience so that yeah, someday when I do make an appeal, there'll be some people to hear it. Right now, if I ask, there aren't enough people that see my videos to really make much of a difference. So
Sure, sure. So what is your idea of something you would like to do, like social things? You said for the people and for the community.
right,
So I'm
I mean,
assuming
again,
it's kind of like social things or
I'm particularly thinking of the Philippines and
okay.
mostly in in my own area in the area in Leyte, Central Leyte and so on, in that
Mhm, mhm.
area, uh, you know, especially things like this when there's some kind of a difficulty, be that a natural disaster or a pandemic or whatever it is that is causing hardships to people, that I would be someone that could maybe chip in and help out a little bit. Be it some kind of giving away food or something like that.
Hmm.
You know,
Hmm.
I saw. I was in Tacloban, which was hit by a major, in fact, one of the largest typhoons, the strongest typhoons in history, hit Tacloban, and there were thousands of people who lost their lives then, and even more people who lost their homes and so on. And I saw people that came there, celebrities and so on, that were giving away. Feeding the people. They were giving away like bowls of rice gruel, like Japanese okayu, the Japanese the rice gruel. They were
Hmm.
giving
Hmm.
that away and
Sure.
so on,
Sure.
and
Great. Yeah.
things like that.
Awesome.
And that's what I
Hmm.
would like to do. I mean,
Yeah.
I don't want to just give money. I want to actually be there and do it myself, so that I know that every penny that I receive is being used rather than going for some kind of administrative overhead.
Yeah.
So
Great, great, great. I was going to use that as an example. I remember when that typhoon hit, and I remember going there and
mm,
seeing the after effects.
mm, mm,
Uh,
mm.
there was a big boat that washed up on shore, wasn't it?
Oh yeah, yeah. There were nine
And they
boats, nine ships. Like
ships,
huge,
right? Okay,
huge cargo ships. That nine of them
huge
that had
cargo ships.
the storm surge, as they call it. The extreme low pressure in the center of the typhoon actually pulls the water up, because the pressure is so low. It actually, like a vacuum cleaner, sucks up the water. And about, what was it, 15 foot, the 15 feet, or no, yeah, 15 feet high or something like that.
Hmm.
A storm surge that just basically picked up the ships and dropped
Picked
them
up the ships.
inland.
Okay.
Yeah,
Wow.
yeah.
Right. Right. I
um,
remember that, and one they turned into a lookout, as I
yeah,
recall. Is
yeah.
that is that
Kind of
correct?
a
Okay.
kind of a memorial type of thing. Yeah. Hmm.
That was horrendous. Yes. And I'm sure people, took great effort to help the local people there after that.
Yeah,
Definitely.
but
Yeah.
again, it took too long. There was
Hmm.
it was way too long, and there was a lot of waste. Again, the government and other agencies within the country weren't really organized, and there was, I don't know, rather, the fact that it was in a province and not near the capital. It seemed like it didn't have
Hmm.
a high priority. It took them way too long. I mean, people were hungry for a long time before they actually got some relief there.
Wow. Yeah, that's too bad. But that's a good gesture, great gesture, and that aim is really good. I think. Yes. I mean, I wouldn't
Thanks.
mind doing things, yeah, for donations for developing countries and whatnot. I mean, I've been
Mm.
to Cambodia 11 times, and spent a few years going there, and I wouldn't mind doing something for developing countries as well.
Yeah.
I did try to send some textbooks as a donation to Cambodia, to a contact in Cambodia, and they
Right, you
never
told me
got
about
there.
that. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
you
yeah. So
mentioned that. Yeah, that's which
unfortunately,
is which is why, I mean, all the things that I've seen and heard. I mean, you hear time after time about uh, charities that seem to
hmm
have a good reputation, but then on careful investigation, there seems to be uh, a relatively high overhead cost for administration, and the amount of donations, the percentage of donations that actually get into the hands of the people that need it, or the food and supplies that get it into the hands of the people that need it, is smaller than you would expect. And so that's why, rather than try and do something on a huge scale, and contribute, being one contributor to something on a huge scale, do it on a
hmm
smaller scale, but make sure that all the money that I receive is funneled back into actually doing something directly for the people that need it. You know. Uh,
Yeah, that's great. It's disheartening, right, when
yeah.
you hear about these things,
I mean, I'll be
donations that don't
yeah, I'll
trickle
be
down. Yeah.
I'll be retired by that time. So I'll have my own. I mean, I should have enough money to be living on at that point. By my
Hmm.
my pension and so on. So, uh, so in that way, I won't be, needy and so on, but I won't necessarily, I won't have enough money to really be that philanthropic, to be giving away a lot of my own money, but if I can,
Hmm.
be a voice to direct some money from other places and make sure that it gets in the right hands and benefits the right people, then
Hmm. Hmm.
I'm willing to spend my time doing that. Can't really, I don't have enough
Yeah.
money to spend, but I'm willing to spend my time doing that. So,
Right. Have you ever thought about like an Indiegogo or a donation website
um,
geared towards that?
I mean, again, I've never been that organized yet. This
Hmm.
is something that is developing in my mind as I'm doing it. Yeah, Indiegogo. I mean, yeah, you GoFundMe and things like that.
GoFundMe.
Yeah.
Right.
I mean,
Exactly.
those are great ideas, and I know that they work. At least at times they have. The thing
Hmm.
that concerns me, I mean, you hear about the successes. I'm just wondering,
Hmm.
what percent of the people that actually attempt to raise money on those type of platforms are actually successful. That's something
Right.
that's a data point that I just haven't heard at all. So I don't know.
There might be data on that somewhere, actually,
There might be. I
online
just
or
I just don't
something,
have it.
perhaps.
Right.
Yeah.
I just don't have it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. 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 Yeah. And maybe you don't have the actual social issue to chase now, right?
Right. Yeah. I mean,
Which, mm,
it is. I mean, I do have one. I mean, there are a lot of people that are, I mean, but it's all over the world. There are people that are being, really drastically affected, badly affected by the lockdowns throughout the world because of this pandemic. And
mhm, mhm.
especially the less developed countries that I mean, their medicine is less developed, so COVID coming into their area is a bigger threat. And so lockdown is more important, but then again, lockdown is even harder on them because most of them are, many of them at least, live hand to mouth. I mean, they collect their pay either every day or every week, and
Mhm.
to feed their family. It's not like they have a lot of savings to fall back on
Mm,
if something happens. So this
gosh,
lockdown,
it's
you lose
hard.
your income for a week or two, and already you're hurting. And this has been a year and a half now that COVID has been messing
I
things
know.
up. So yeah,
I know. It's just terrible, isn't it? It
yeah,
really
yeah,
is terrible. I mean,
yeah.
hopefully we'll get a handle on it eventually.
Yeah.
Yeah, speaking of COVID, I just heard today that the RMNA vaccine, right, is
Uh-huh.
I think we all knew that it doesn't last a long time, right? That we weren't sure exactly how long it lasted, and now they're thinking it lasts, right, 6 months or a year, right, at most. I heard.
Oh,
So now they're recommending a third shot.
yeah, they've been talking about the third shot for a while, but I mean, what I haven't heard, the talk that I've heard is talking about the antibody levels,
Hmm.
and that will necessarily decline. It's not natural for our bodies to maintain a high level of antibodies against any virus. But the thing is,
Right.
the B cells and the T cells, these memory cells, those have been
Hmm.
created by either exposure to the virus or through the vaccine, and those last much longer than the
Yeah.
antibodies. And so that's
Right.
what I'm not sure.
Right. Yeah. I think no one's sure really. Those vaccines you get when you're a kid, like the
Mhm,
MMR, measles, mumps, and rubella, right? Those kind of
mhm.
last for ages, right?
Right,
If not forever, right?
right.
In your
Mhm,
body, and the COVID, the RMNA doesn't, right? It might
mhm.
be a good thing that it doesn't actually, right?
Yeah,
Because we don't
maybe.
really know what,
Mm.
I mean, and I think no one knows at this point, but it's a learning procedure. It's a learning process for all. It's too bad that it's taken its toll that it has, though, for a year and a half, right?
Yes, 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 yes.
Yeah. Hmm.
Yeah. Like I said, I mean, I would, personally believe that although after a period of time, you might not the vaccines may no longer prevent you from getting sick, but I still believe
Hmm.
that like I said, these memory cells, the T cells, and so on, are going to uh, do enough to uh, probably keep you out of keep you from getting a severe case of the virus, right?
Yes, right, right,
Uh,
exactly. And keep you out of the hospital and
right. Keep you
maybe
out of the
you'll blow
morgue is the
through it
main thing.
more
Yeah.
easily. Yeah, keep you out of the morgue. Absolutely. Sure, sure, sure. So yeah. So talk for a couple minutes, Dan, about the kinds of social media you do. I know
Okay.
you're
Well,
not only YouTube and Facebook, but you do several others,
I
as I
mean, I,
do, a couple others.
uh, well, let's see. Instagram. I post things on Instagram. Of course, there's the link to Facebook. So things that I post on Instagram automatically, I've got it set so they automatically show up on Facebook also. Um,
Yeah, interesting. I don't do that choice. Mine are separate
oh, really? Okay. Yeah. I
because I
mean,
don't want people
again,
to be doubleized. You know,
uh, uh,
I don't want people to
um,
have double entendre of the
right,
same posts. But
right. Yeah.
but
I
a
mean,
lot of people do that.
well, I mean, I do it mostly because, like I've talked about so many times, being so closely related to the Philippines, close contact with the Philippines. um, the Philippines, I believe the Facebook in the Philippines has a special arrangement so that people, even if they don't have data left in their data plan or on their SIM card or whatever, they're still able to use the base of the Facebook chat and so on to
Hmm.
communicate. And so the huge amount. I mean, I think in the world, the Philippines per capita are the highest consumers of Facebook, the highest users of
Are they
Facebook.
really?
Yeah, that
Okay, I
I've
didn't know
heard
that.
that. I haven't actually checked that out to make sure that that's accurate, but based on what I know of Filipinos and how much they use it, I don't have any problem believing that.
Wow.
But
Okay, I
but
didn't know that. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
the Instagram, I like Instagram for what it does, and from my phone, doing an Instagram post is very, very easy. And I do have
Me
some
too.
people that
Sure.
are use more Instagram more, especially foreigners, people outside of the Philippines and Japan, that use Instagram more than they do Facebook. And so I want to post on Instagram sometimes, but I also want the majority of the people that see my thing, see my stuff, are in the Philippines, and so Facebook is my default. So just about everything gets doubled over to Facebook. So YouTube
Hmm.
again is my main outlet, in my mind anyway. My main outlet for so YouTube, for getting things out there. I think, like I said, my long-term goal is to be able to monetize it to the extent that I can actually start giving back to the community and so on. So more than being able to monetize on Facebook, I think YouTube has more potential there, but it's also hard to get started there. So that's why,
Yeah, it
again,
is.
I trying to get my face and name known on Facebook and hope that some of that carries over to YouTube also. I also
Right.
use
Sure. Sure.
Twitter, um,
Hmm.
a little bit, but that's again mostly so that people know that I've got YouTube videos coming out and so on. And Twitch, I've started to play around with Twitch as another platform, but I've found that it's mostly geared toward gamers who are streaming
Hmm.
their games. I mean, that's their main thing. But other artists are starting to move on to Twitch also. But it's still, a little bit different audience than you would find, a little bit more focused audience than you find on YouTube. So um,
Hmm.
the fact that I'm not focused, maybe YouTube is a better fit. I don't know.
Yeah, right. That's- yeah,
Yeah.
interesting. Okay. So I know you went into the monetization of it. Are you, to give back to the community, are you looking to monetize for maybe a little salary or a little
Probably
living
not. Probably
expenditure?
not. I
Right.
mean,
Hmm.
if again, if any of the money would actually come to me, it would probably be for improving my stream. To buy equipment, or to pay staff or something like that,
Hmm.
pay for services in
Yeah,
order to
cool.
improve the stream. But as far as living on my income from something like YouTube, that's not in my plans. I mean, if it ever came to that, if I ever had, the amount of money coming in that I could do that, that would be wonderful. I wouldn't turn it down. But
Hmm. Hmm.
that's not really an explicit goal. It's really, just
Okay.
to give back. Yeah.
Yeah, cool. Great, great. Yeah, I know it's a good thing to be able to do, right? If you can give back to the community and help people, by all means. I dabble in YouTube, of course, right? I tend to get inconsistent, right?
Mm,
I go through phases. I, upload quite a bit here and there, and then I get busy, right? To,
mhm.
you know, turn my attention away a bit, and then, get forget to do it or not have time, etc. How do I get more consistent, Daniel?
I mean, the best way is to think of it not as an option, but as an obligation, right? In the same way as going to the office, for work is an obligation. If you don't prioritize it, then it will get pushed down in the to-do
Mm,
stack, and yeah, you will necessarily be inconsistent, right? That's
mhm,
just a given. So you have to prioritize it. Set aside time. I mean, think back to your student days or whatever. You had to set aside times. Okay, I have to study for this time or whatever. Now you had, I have to go to the office and do some things at this time, right? So yeah, you
mhm,
have to
mhm.
prioritize it in that way. The other
I
thing
see.
is,
Yeah.
yeah, you have to socialize to the extent that you make connections on the platform that is your target. So one of the things that I was going to talk about a little bit is
Sure.
things like on, again, Facebook. Again, Facebook is my thing here. So on Facebook, if you go to Facebook, and I'm sure that you can't read this here, but I'll read it for you. So I went to Facebook and did uh, did a search on Facebook, and I searched for the keywords YouTube subscribers. Okay,
Wow. Okay.
and here are, well, there's
So this is
one,
on Facebook, you said?
four, five, six different groups on Facebook
Okay.
that
Yeah.
are designed for people to their links to their YouTube, and then they do kind of a give and take type of thing. If you subscribe to my channel, I subscribe to yours.
Hmm.
And like I said,
Oh, that's great. Okay.
there's 6 groups here, and each one of them has many followers. So this one, let's see, 200,000 followers, 260,000, 150,000, 2.1
Wow.
million, 2.1 million
Woo.
on members on that one. So most of them have
Oh,
about
man. Okay.
200,000, but one has 2 million. So anyway, you go
Yeah.
on there, and so you have a built-in, an automatic audience there for your pleas anyway. And but it requires you to actually go in and subscribe to them also. Like I said, it's a give and take. So if you want them to
Right.
subscribe to you, you subscribe to them.
Gotcha. Okay. Yeah, I'll try that. Yeah. Thanks for
Yeah,
that.
yeah.
Yeah.
So that's
Uh,
one thing.
right. Okay.
The other
I
thing.
just saw a website, just if I can interrupt for 1 minute, right? I just found this website. I haven't even looked at it really. It's increase YouTube subscribers, hire for a fixed price.
uh
I'm
yeah
sure people do that.
Yeah, I've heard of people doing that. Yeah, that I haven't looked into that. I mean, if maybe if I was planning on doing this as a source of income for myself,
Hmm. Hmm.
I might resort to something like that in order to boost up, to cut down on the amount of time it takes to get things started. But like I said, this is basically like a volunteer activity on my part. Right now, I'm just kind of
Hmm.
doing the
Yeah.
groundwork, and then so it's only my time that is
Sure.
taking up at this point. So yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Cool. 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 Of course, I understand that. Yeah. I watch a lot of YouTube. Of course, I'm into tiny houses, right? These
Uh huh.
days, I watch a lot of tiny house videos. I think they're pretty cool. Just the
Hmm.
the way they're designed and such. And I know perhaps people try to, have YouTube as kind of an income booster with doing things like that. Through watching the tiny houses, I've seen some van life,
Uh-huh.
right? YouTube videos and whatnot, and they explicitly say that that's what they do, right? They
Mm-mm-mm.
post on YouTube, and that's how they earn their living, right?
Yeah. I've
While
seen.
they're traveling around in their van or whatnot.
Right, yeah, I've seen not vans, but people that literally travel the world and finance their travels and their entire life through their
Hmm.
YouTube subscriptions. Right, yeah, yeah, it's definitely something that can be done once you get once you reach that critical mass of followers of subscribers. There's a lot that you can do. It's just getting to that point that's the trick.
Yeah, I guess so. So, yeah, another
So
thing I wanted to ask you, Dan. Sometimes I don't feel as confident, perhaps, as I should about doing like a video and stuff like this. Or is the content good? I'm always questioning things, perhaps, and kind of then I stop for a little bit and think about it perhaps too much. How do I get over that little hurdle?
yeah, I don't know. Because I mean,
Hmm.
maybe you just surf around
Just keep
YouTube.
doing it, I guess.
No,
Yeah.
surf around YouTube for a
Yeah.
little bit, and you'll
Okay.
see the amount of
Hmm.
real crap that's on there. And yet they, I mean, really crap that's on there, and yet they've got thousands of followers, thousands of subscribers. And I used to think like you did, and then I started looking at the
Okay.
crap that has thousands of followers, and I thought, wow, I mean, if this gets thousands of followers, I don't know what I could do that would be worse. So probably
Okay,
there's
there
somebody
you
out
go.
there that would
That's a good
follow
one.
me. Yeah.
That's a good one. All right. Yeah, yeah.
Doesn't
I've
matter
seen a
how
couple
bad
of
it is.
crap things. Yeah.
Doesn't matter how bad it
Right.
is.
Okay.
There's somebody that's doing something worse that also already has thousands more subscribers than you do. So yeah, don't feel bad.
Yeah. Interesting. Okay. There you go. There you go. Thank you. Yeah, I'll have a look at that. I tend to not spend a lot of time watching YouTube, so I go to the things I want to see, basically, which are all very well done, right?
Mm,
And it's like, oh my gosh, right? How do they do that? And put a lot of time and effort into titling and music and subtitles and the content.
mm, mm, mm.
So I should probably do that. You're right.
Yeah, yeah.
Not
Um,
spend a
and
lot of
then
time searching for the crap.
okay,
Hmm.
so beyond like I talked about these YouTube groups and so on, and probably if you go on to Google, you could do a YouTube subscribers group search or something like that, and maybe find even more. Like I said,
Hmm.
Facebook is kind of my go-to, for things like that. But
Hmm.
another thing that you can do, and this my wife's niece gave me this idea.
Please
So
shoot. I know you were talking about this the other day,
right, yeah.
but I
So
didn't hear the actual
the
secret. So
best thing you can
shoot.
do is to after you do a live broadcast, or I mean any
Hmm.
kind of broadcast, one of the things that you want to spend time on are two things that you want to spend time on. One
Hmm.
is the thumbnail. You want a
You're right.
thumbnail
Okay.
that will be intriguing and bring them in that way. So a thumbnail and I guess thumbnail and title are the two things that you want them to of course be indicative of what's the content is going to be, but you also want them to be very inviting to try and draw those people in there. And that's something that takes time, and you can study that and get tips from the popular videos and things like that. But yeah, so the
Hmm.
thumbnail image and the title, make those things that draw audience in, right? But
Okay.
people but actually even maybe more important than that, or just as important, because people are not going to see the title or the thumbnail unless your video shows up in a search that they do. So those
Right. Okay.
the tags are critical. Tags are critical.
Okay.
So when we do
Uh-huh.
these live things, we're putting those out there. What you need to do is, after your live has gone out and it's already on YouTube, but go back in there and
Oh.
go to your YouTube studio and
Hmm.
manage your videos and go back in there and edit those tags, do Google searches and find any kind of trending tag that at least is somehow related to what you're talking about, right?
Okay,
So if
cool. Gotcha.
you
All
know
right. Yeah.
so you find out what people are searching for, and then if you can find some way to connect it to what you were talking about in your video, then slap that tag on there, and maybe you'll get a few more people that, maybe they weren't looking for you, but they might, again, if the title is interesting and you've got a good thumbnail, right? So
Uh-huh.
those three things all fit together, right? The tags to get them there, because to get your video to show up in the search, and then
Okay.
the thumbnail and the title in order to get them to actually click on it and watch it, right? So you get that
Wow.
going,
Okay.
and you'll do a lot better. And again, I mean,
Yeah.
those that can't do teach, right? So I'm teaching you how to do this, but I haven't been very successful yet.
No, but I've watched your subscribers grow from 3, was it, to what is it now, 30? In just a
33,
matter of
yeah,
weeks.
yeah,
33, yeah, which
yeah,
is, that's pretty impressive, right?
yeah. So,
Again, I haven't seen how many I have in
mm,
a couple of days now, so that just goes to show, all
right,
right, how
right,
lax I am with
yeah,
it. But I have to get on the stick.
yeah. Now, one
Yeah.
thing, going back to the YouTube subscribers groups, you got to make sure that one that they actually do subscribe to. If you subscribe to them, make sure that they actually do subscribe to you, and then look for people that or that promise that they will be a permanent subscriber, because you got some of them that will subscribe, and then when you subscribe, then they unsubscribe from you for some reason. I don't know. I guess maybe they just don't, yeah,
Oh,
yeah. So
really?
yeah,
Okay. Wow.
so you
I
got to
didn't know
watch
you.
for that.
Yeah.
I was up to
Yeah.
34 subscribers at one point, and then a couple of them backed out, unsubscribed, and I'm back
Wow.
up to
Okay.
33
Right.
now. I think I've got 33 permanent ones, but yeah,
Okay.
like I
Right.
said,
Wow.
so yeah, some of them, like I said, they're there trying to build up their numbers, and in order to do that,
Hmm.
they have to subscribe to somebody else. But then for some reason, they unsubscribe. I guess I mean, I can kind of
Wow.
understand that. I've got a couple hundred channels that I'm subscribed to, and I really don't want any more, because the things that I'm actually interested in watching would get lost,
Yeah.
in
Yeah.
all the trash, if I got too many subscriptions. But you
Sure, sure,
kind of,
sure. I've got about 100 that I
yeah,
subscribe to. And
yeah,
sometimes, on the home feed, not everything interesting that I want to see comes up. So
right.
at that point, I will go into the subscribers and see what they've done lately. Yeah.
Hmm, hmm. Yeah,
Right.
yeah,
Yeah. Mhm, mhm.
yeah, yeah.
Of
But
course, I get notifications also of new things that are coming up. Yeah.
say I generally don't turn on notifications for any of the channels that I subscribe to. Um,
You probably have too many notifications, right?
yeah,
If you do that.
it's hard for me to choose which ones I want to be notified about. I wouldn't, if I turned it on for all of them, my notification bell would probably be ringing all day long every day, and
Yeah,
I don't want
totally.
that.
Sure.
So
Or
and
ding, 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 ding.
yeah, so again, depending on the
Yeah.
day
Uh-huh.
and what's going on, which channel I really want to get the current information from might vary. So I
Mhm.
just kind of let it go.
Mhm.
But
Yeah.
yeah, but those,
Well,
yeah, like I
that's
said,
cool.
those
Great.
are the things that I've heard, and from a couple sources, that those things are really the way to kind of get yourself bootstrapped up. The tags and the thumbnails and the titles.
Great. Thank you, Dan. Those are great pointers. I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna get to that. Also, I need to make a schedule,
Mm,
right? Like when I'm gonna, upload something or edit something, right? I need to get better with that.
yep.
I kind
Yeah.
of tend
So
to do it when I have time, which, yeah,
yeah, I mean,
can
that's
get
what I
sucked
mean. So
away really easily.
so maybe, I mean, we've been doing live because we're here on Haps, and we've been using Haps as our studio basically for YouTube and other platform, YouTube and Facebook and so on.
Hmm. Hmm.
Haps is really, I mean, Haps is a platform, but it's really the Haps studio that's the main thing. Um, but what I and Haps isn't really geared toward recording videos and sharing them in the way that most people on YouTube do, right? I mean, YouTube has
Yeah.
the live YouTube, but and so does Facebook has the live, but especially YouTube is really geared more toward finely tuned, prepared, pre-recorded videos, right?
Right.
And if you're busy, that might be the best way to go, because then,
YouTube,
yeah,
like,
pre-recorded,
okay, pre-recorded.
pre-recorded,
Right, right, right.
right?
Yeah.
Because
Mhm.
if you're depending on live and your schedule is not consistent, if something comes up, right? Because
Mm,
you're a full-time professor, you've got other responsibilities, right? But
mhm,
that will,
mhm.
I mean, missing just one every month, if your followers are there expecting you to be live and you're not, even once a month
Mm.
something comes up and you don't make it, you're going to lose people like left and right. They're just,
That
the
happens to me,
right.
actually. Yeah, it does, right?
That's why I'm
Yeah,
saying,
it does, yeah.
maybe don't give up on the live, but make the live just as a supplement, but make a regular
Mhm.
schedule of the pre-recorded videos.
Okay, that's a great idea. Thank you so
Mm.
much. Yeah, I will do that. I will do that.
And stick to it, right?
I
Make
will.
that schedule. I mean,
Yeah, gotta
absolutely, it's like, tell yourself, okay, Sunday night or whatever, I'm going to post on YouTube every Sunday night, I mean, give yourself that time, and just keep that in the back of your mind, work on it a little bit when you've got time, but absolutely,
Mhm,
you
mhm.
know, put it up, every, at the same time every week, or if you can, twice a week would be better, but at least once a week. You have to do it once a week if you want to start getting noticed.
I gotta get to that point. Yeah, indeed. I'd
Yeah.
like to do some English teaching stuff too. Recently, I've been interested in that, like putting some English teachings
Hmm.
material out there for students or those who want to learn English. And
Hmm.
so, for me, that content is meaningful. Yeah, I do like this DIY thing, right?
Hmm. Hmm.
Uh, Gemo DIY, it's called, that I've been putting on YouTube. But there aren't enough projects, right? I found. So I find myself looking for DIY projects to do that,
Yeah.
right? So I have to get
I-
better with that, number
yeah.
one, and number two, yeah. And then there's the horror. Did you see any of my horror things? The Edge of Darkness horror show. I did some reading, just of reading some horror stories I've written. Right.
Okay. All right.
It's just a
Cool.
talking head reading, so maybe it's not that interesting, but I have had some good comments.
All right. Yeah.
Uh, but
Since it's a
things
video, I
like
mean,
that,
if you're,
yeah.
yeah, and since it's a video, I mean, that'd be great for podcasts, but if you're going to do a YouTube video, you oughta, again, don't do it live, do it pre-recorded
Okay.
and supplement your voice with, some public domain images, of things that are somehow related to what you're talking about, right? It doesn't have
Cool.
to be all the actions, but if you're talking about a ghost, right, then find an image of a ghost
Hmm.
that is somehow close to what your image is, and things like that. Yeah. uh
Great.
yeah,
Great
I mean,
idea.
and so you've got that, you've got that as the main screen, right? And then you can always be up, the picture in picture, with your little head floating in there and so on, so people know that it's you that's talking and so
Oh
on. But
yeah.
yeah. Yeah.
Right. Okay. Right. Okay. Great idea. Good. Good. Good.
Yeah.
Man.
Yeah.
Excellent. Excellent.
Yeah.
Cool. Great.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'll definitely have to get to that point. Yeah. Indeed. Indeed.
Mm. Yeah.
Because it's enjoyable too to do that.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
challenging to edit well and to pick the right background and scenery and music if you do music. Yeah.
Yeah.
I did a
Yeah.
little, horror music, right, sounds on the keyboard that I put in the background. So
Cool.
I
Cool.
have to get better with these things. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I mean, it's
Ah,
it's fun to learn to do, and once you get better at it, then it's even more fun. When you create something that's really interesting and grabs the audience. Yeah. Yep.
yeah, and that's the thing, right? Having people enjoy it, right?
Mm,
That's really what I want to do.
yeah.
Hopefully, people will enjoy it. Yeah.
Yeah.
But all your little pointers, Dan, were just fabulous. Thank you. Plethora of
Yep.
information. I got to go do that. Look for the groups, right? The tags are
Yep.
very important,
Yep.
right?
Every
Title, right?
every
And
every
the
video that you
thumbnail.
have every video that you have in your channel right now, all those in
Hmm.
your channel library, you ought to go back and rethink the tags for those. You know, do some Google searches and find out what are some trending tags on YouTube and so on. And if you
Trending
can
tags on
possibly,
YouTube.
you know, yeah, trending tags, yep, and plug those into your videos, right? Rethink the thumbnails. You know, I mean, the thumbnails default to basically, you know, the one of the initial images from the video, right? Well,
Hmm.
um, that may or may not be an appealing type of thumbnail, you know, to get people to actually click on it. So if you can find something, again, there's so many images, you know, that are available on the internet. Just so many places that have huge libraries of free to use images, public domain images, and so on. That's the way to go, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Great idea. Okay, good, good, good. I was wondering about images. How should I incorporate that? But no, that's a great idea. Public domain, free images. Yeah,
Yeah.
indeed,
Free
I will.
images.
I found a guy, an English teacher recently, who is a part-time teacher here at my university, and he sent me just a little illustration he did, just a funky little cartoon,
Hmm.
funny, funky one, right? And I asked him if he's capable of doing some monsters or some horror
Uh,
images. So I may
mm,
get him to illustrate a few. He says he's not really into, or he hasn't had any training, or hasn't even thought about drawing horror. So I'm going to send him a story or two, and
yeah.
see what
Well,
he
I
can do
tell
with
you,
that.
I
So,
mean,
yeah.
my impression is that, I mean, your average Japanese student is so much better of an artist than
Hmm.
at
Hmm.
least the kids that I grew up with. I mean, I don't know what the average, you know, person in America is like now with their drawing, you know, but when I grew up, I mean, and still
Mm.
today, my stick figures don't look like anything, you know. I mean, you know, I mean, you know,
Stuff.
it's yeah, I'm no I have no artistic ability in that area at all. But so many Japanese. I mean, I don't know if they, you know, they grew up, you know, reading manga and watching anime for so long, and they had these favorite characters, and they wanted, you know, they wanted to, you know, so they can all draw, you know, these anime style or manga
You're
style
right.
characters so well.
You're
I've
right. You're absolutely
I
right.
have, you know, for things that I've done in the classroom, I've often asked some of my students to draw some things that I have used, you know. Yeah.
Yeah, I had one student last year illustrate a little blurb for my textbook,
Mhm.
the environment project. Yeah,
Mhm.
textbook, right? It looks fantastic. Yeah.
Mm.
So no,
Yeah.
you're absolutely right. Maybe I'll ask a Japanese student or something to
Yep.
to help
Yep.
on that.
Yep. Absolutely.
Horror. Yeah,
Yeah. There you
great.
go. Yeah. Find some
That
of them
sounds
that
fantastic.
are fans of what's his name, Gege Taro or whatever. You know.
Ah, yeah, 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 yes,
Yeah.
yes, right.
He's kind of a weird, scary character there. You know. So if you find somebody that's a big fan of that, you know, they might be already have a proclivity to, you know, to drawing horror type pictures. You know.
Excellent, man. Thank you. Thank you very, very much today, Dan. It was
Yep.
awesome, right?
It's been
Plethora of
good.
information, like I said.
Yep.
It's been
All right.
great, and let's continue this, right?
Right
And I'm
on.
going to take your points to heed for sure.
Right. All right. Sounds good. All right.
Thank you,
That's all for
everyone, for
today.
watching.
Thank
Yep, that's
you.
all for
Bye
today.
bye.
Okay, thank you very much. Yep, bye bye.